Will Darwin's paradox run on these handhelds? Today we're checking it out on the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which is running SteamOS 3.9. We're going to be running it on the ASUS R.O.G Ally, the original Ally, and this is also on SteamOS, but this is SteamOS 3.7. And then we are running it on the Xbox Ally, which is Windows 11 with Xbox mode. And also we're going to be running it on the Xbox Ally X, which is also running Windows 11 in Xbox mode. It's time to pay the 128KB bills with today's totally impartial video sponsor, VITURE. Yes, I am reading the script through these glasses, if you were wondering. We absolutely love the Xbox Ally. It's an incredible device, but sometimes that 7-inch screen just doesn't really cut it. You want more immersion. And that is where these come in, the VITURE Luma Ultra. These put a massive 152-inch 1200p virtual screen right in front of your face. It's got 1500 nits of brightness. It's genuinely the sharpest XR glasses. That's not all though. To celebrate the 5th anniversary of Cyberpunk 2077, VITURE have teamed up with CD Projekt Red for this insane translucent angular design straight out of Night City. It's even got dynamic lighting effects as well. It was designed by the actual art team at CDPR. And it's not all just looks, it uses the Sony OLED panels, which run at 120 Hz for buttery smooth gaming. And of course, it is optimized for the Xbox Ally, the Switch 2, and any other handheld really as well. And also, this is a true collector's piece. They are limiting these to just 10,000 serialized units worldwide. So once they're gone, they're gone. Even more jealousy for the fact they didn't send me one, but there we go. If you want the ultimate bleeding edge way to play Cyberpunk or anything else for that matter on the go, then these are it. Hit the link down in the description to secure your serialized units before they sell out. And by doing so as well, you're directly supporting what we do here on the channel. So massive thank you to you and to VITURE for sponsoring this video. So let's kick it off with the Xbox Ally. And yes, we are hit with the dreaded shader compilation. So now I'm just going to go into the settings and go down to graphics and see what's going on here. Now, weirdly, what I've noticed in this game when I booted it up on one of the SteamOS devices is that there was an actual Steam Deck mode preset in the actual game settings just here. But on this one, using it on Windows, right, and just running it via Steam, there's not actually that option. There's no Steam Deck option. So I've got full screen at the top here. I've set it to 720p because that's what you should really be running an Xbox Ally at, right? I have capped the frame rate at 120, not that I expect to get that much. I've got VSync off, upscaling mode off currently. We will try it. And then I've got quality mode and it goes all the way from low, medium and high and custom. So I'm just going to stick it all on low with no upscaling and just see how it handles it. And I'm getting about 20 to 28 FPS just here. But remember, we are running this rasterized, right? There's no upscaling right now. So, you know, I was expecting the performance to be a little bit tanked. It is running at 20 watts, this system just here. So in Armory Crate, I am running 20 watts and I have a CPU boost off as well. So let's just have a little go around here because it's not like an overly demanding CPU-based game. You can see that my GPU is maxed out just here. So let's see if I can go into the settings and put some upscaling on. So now I've enabled FSR performance. Let's see what happens now. Well, right now, nothing, apparently. Apparently, the frame rate's exactly the same, going from like 24 to 28 FPS. Let's just try going back to here and putting FSR at ultra performance. Yeah, it has boosted the frame rate. So we're at like, I mean, it's peaking up to 32, but it's still dropping down to like 24 FPS. Maybe it's just a bad example of like the area. Let's see if we can get a bit further. So there we go. So now I am back in the game and yeah, we're in the sort of like 30 to 36 area, but man, it looks muddy. Like it looks really bad. I don't know how well you can see this. But it really doesn't look overly great. I mean, look at these textures. What is going on with that? It looks like a Picasso painting. So yeah, not ideal. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it's not great on the Xbox Ally, unfortunately. And this is maxed out. This is at 20 watts. So manual 20 watt mode and, you know, CPU boost off, running at 720p with ultra performance in game. And we're still we're breaking 30 FPS. So it is possible, it's doable, but it really looks bad. Like, unfortunately for the Xbox Ally, I think it would have helped a lot with that Steam Deck preset, which hopefully is like lower than low. But even then, I mean, what's it going to look like? We'll have to try it on the other devices. But yeah, 720p, FSR Ultra Performance, it just doesn't look great. It really, really doesn't. And that's with everything on all low. So there we go. Does it run on the Xbox Ally? Yeah, I mean, it runs. It's just not the best experience, but there we go. And now we're on to the ROG Ally, the original Ally, and I am on SteamOS here, SteamOS 3.7. I'm also going to be running this at 20 watts, as I will with all of these, right? So bear in mind, you'll actually be able to get better performance if you actually crank it, but let's just see if what I like to play on, which is 20 watts handheld for the best sort of balance between performance and battery life, how this goes. But you can see, because we're on SteamOS, the graphics settings menu is totally different. We now actually have a Steam Deck mode, and it's just a preset Steam Deck mode. If I turn it off, then I can choose my upscaling and I can choose my quality level and everything. But let's just try Steam Deck mode. Bearing in mind on the base Ally, okay, it's different. This is a much more powerful APU than even the base Xbox Ally, right? But let's just see what performance we're going to get in this starting area, which seemed to be quite troublesome. Straight away, like 40 FPS, way better performance. We were in the 20s. We were like 20 to 24 FPS on the Xbox Ally, whereas on the ROG Ally, we're at up to 46 if I go down to the bottom down here. Look, we're like 50 FPS nearly. So way better performance, and it looks so much better. Like, it looks a lot better. Let's just see what it's telling me here, because I can't even choose the resolution. So is this 1080p? Is this 720p? I don't know. I mean, the ROG Ally here is a 1080p screen, so I imagine it's going to be natively at 1080p. I can't actually even change the resolution, which is a bit weird. So that's a bit of a strange one. Let's go to non-Steam Deck mode and just go to FSR. Let's just go to like performance, right? And let's go custom. Let's go to just low. And just have a little go around here. Okay, that dramatically makes it look worse. So Steam Deck mode is a lot better. And you can see now that we're on par with what the Xbox Ally was running at, but now we're at 1080p, I imagine, right? And this is straight away 30 FPS. So Steam Deck mode is way, way, way better. Let's just go back and go to settings and go to graphics. And let's just bump it up to medium, just see how it will handle that. And let's go ahead and put it to ultra performance. So medium looks a lot better. And with ultra performance's help, we're at the sort of just above 30 FPS. So we're sort of 33 FPS comfortably just there, going up a little bit more as well. That's, you know, fine. If we bumped up the TDP, let's just go ahead and crank it, shall we? So on SteamOS, I can actually put 30 watts to this APU, and straight away I'm getting about 40 FPS, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to try Steam Deck mode whilst using 30 watts to the APU, right? And straight up, yep, much better performance. We're at like 40s, solid 40s, and the image quality is actually really good. It's a lot nicer than using the manual modes of like low or medium. So the Steam Deck mode is actually legit worth using, but for some strange reason, it seems to only be running whilst you're running SteamOS. On Windows, that Steam Deck preset just isn't there, which is really, really weird. So now I'm skipping ahead and I'm just going to go to this next chapter, and at 30 watt TDP and Steam Deck preset, you can see we're at like 40 FPS just here, 43 FPS. Give it a second and we'll be able to start moving around. But I would say it's around the sort of 40 FPS mark around here. But again, way better performance than the base Xbox Ally was getting. But I am running at 30 watts now. So I don't know what Steam Deck preset is running at in terms of like upscaling or anything. But yeah, this is a much nicer experience than on the Xbox Ally. I'm actually hitting 50 FPS now. So let's just quickly take it down to 20 watts. So now I've brought it down to 20 watts. and we'll just see, give it a second, see how it's going. Oh, we're still at 50 FPS apparently. Okay, so I'll take 50 FPS here. This is fine. Like, this is totally playable now. The image quality is better because it must be trying to take that 1080p resolution of the screen, and it is just better. So 20 watts, Steam Deck preset on SteamOS, 50 FPS. Like, that's really good. Like, really decent. This is totally playable. Thumbs up from me. All right, and now we have the Xbox Ally X just here. And again, I am running at 20 watts manual profile with CPU boost off. And going into the settings, once again, because we're on Windows here, there's no Steam Deck preset, which is so weird. I really don't understand why they've only locked Steam Deck preset to actual SteamOS. Bit of a weird move because there's a lot of Windows handhelds, but whatever. Let's choose 1080p resolution this time. We'll do 120 frame rate cap. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that myself, but whatever. Let's just try it raster with no upscaling at all. And I'm going to go all low, and here we go. So this is 20 watts. And again, way better performance off the bat than the base Xbox Ally. We're into the 30 FPSs now rather than the low 20s, but still not ideal in this area. Not great. So let's go to settings. Let's go to graphics, and this time let's put upscaling on. So I'm going to choose FSR, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to, let's just try performance, shall we? So let's try performance. And we're in the high 30s now, so almost 40 FPS. Let's just go ahead and bump this up, shall we? Let's see if this will work. So I'm going to go ahead and just max out everything. So I'm going to just put it on max power, so 35 watts with everything, and hit apply. So 35 watt manual. I'll just give it a second to kick in. And again, we're in the sort of low 40s here. So there's not a massive performance jump just by adding more power. So let's go ahead and go to a different area. Okay, so now we're in the game. We're on 20 watts again, and we are still with FSR performance. And you can see we're at like 40 FPS. So it's okay, but again, the image quality is just not great. I know we are using upscaling here. So we are in 1080p, and you are getting FSR performance there. And we are on all low as well. 40 to 50 FPS, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and bump everything up. So let's go manual mode all the way up to 35 watts to see if we can squeeze some more performance out of this. And yeah, I mean, we're at the sort of 55 watts here, and we're running the APU at maximum power. But to be fair, like 55 FPS for running that much juice into this, I would just go ahead and play at 20 watts and take the slight performance hit. It is totally playable at 20 watts. It's just, again, that image quality just isn't ideal, at least in this area. It's not perfect. And there is the odd stutter as well. But I just don't, for the life of me, understand why they've not done the Steam Deck preset on Windows builds. Like, it's really strange. Like, if it detects it's Windows and you're running it through Steam that way, it just won't use it. We're getting a bit of a tanked FPS just here, but there we go. So yeah, it's totally playable on the Xbox Ally X, as we would imagine. And I'm sure you could do some extra tweaking as well, like putting it on ultra performance, dropping the resolution down. So let's just quickly do that, shall we? So let's go ahead and go to 900p and leave it on FSR performance all low. And now we should see a bit of a performance jump now. Oh, apparently it tanked before it's picking up. Now we're at like 50 FPS. Again, weird one. Bit of a weird one. I was expecting more of a performance jump than this, but it's pretty much the same. Strange one. Let's just, we're still at 35 watts as well. So yeah, a little bit of an odd one. It seems to be quite demanding, this game, to run on these handhelds. We've got one more contender going up though, and that of course is the Legion Go 2. Okay, so now we are on to the Legion Go 2. Remember, this is running SteamOS 3.9 as well. And in the graphics settings, let's just go ahead with the Steam Deck mode just here, which doesn't give you any option for resolution or anything like that. It's weird. It's just like, yeah, there you go ahead and play it. So there's like basically nothing you can do in terms of tweaking unless you turn Steam Deck mode off. So that's fine. So let's go back into the game. It's not running at 16 by 10, as you can see. We've got 16 by 9, hence the black bars and all the numbers at the top, right? So, and just to show you as well, if I go into Steam just here, we are running at 20 watt TDP. So at 20 watt TDP on the Legion Go 2 with Steam Deck profile, we're getting around sort of mid 30s, which is totally acceptable, to be honest. It's super smooth, as you would expect. Now it's dropping down to sort of low sort of 30s. We're at like 34, but remember the Legion Go 2 actually has a VRR screen that starts from 30 hertz. So this is by far the best spec screen actually like on the market, on these handhelds at least. So yeah, let's try it now then with turning Steam Deck mode off. So let's turn Steam Deck mode off. Oh, and have you seen there? It went to 16:10 by turning Steam Deck mode off. That's really weird. So in the menu, if I enable Steam Deck mode, it goes 16:10. But if I try and back out, it just saves it and forces it to 16:9. That's a bit of a weird one. Maybe it's stretching it, but either way, I'd still rather play stretched at 16:10 myself personally, but I can't actually seem to do that. So if I back out and save that setting, it then just corrects itself to 16:9. Bit of an odd one, but okay. So anyway, let's turn Steam Deck mode off and let's go to all low and no upscaling. Remember, it was 20 watts just here. So we'll just go ahead and try it out. And you can see it's tanked performance immediately. We're at like 19 FPS, 20 FPS. Yeah, that's just awful, isn't it? So let's go and put performance on. We're all low, that's fine. And 40 FPS, high 30s just there, okay. Low, mid 30s, it's not great, it's not great, it's not great. Let's go ahead, leave it as this and put the APU all the way up to 35 watts. So now we're at 35 watts, just give it a second to sort of kick in and we should jump up in FPS. Yeah, we're at like 40 FPS again. So now I'm gonna drop back down to 20 watts and load the next area. And we are still on Steam Deck mode, 20 watts. And so we're getting around 50 FPS here. So, oh, it did just start there. You can see it on the frame time graph just there. So we're at like 50, 56 FPS. To be fair, the performance is a bit bad. Like, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. There is some stutters and stuff. But this is playable. There's pretty much 60 FPS. So this is by far the best performing so far out of these handhelds. But yeah, so we're around the sort of like mid 50s here, which is actually totally playable. Again, we're on Steam Deck mode. Let's see if we get any more performance by boosting the APU up to 35 watts. Let's just max it out and see how it goes. Give it a second for it to kick in. And we're hitting, well, again, high 50. So we're almost at 60 FPS now. So again, not much of a performance jump from jumping from 20 watts all the way to maxing out all our power to 35 watts, which is a trend we see with, you know, the Z2 Extreme APU, which is why I run everything at 20 watts, because you're pretty much getting the same performance at 20 watts as you are at 35 watts. You're just not dumping unnecessary power and draining your battery as quick. So 20 watts is my favorite because it's the best balance between performance and battery life. And again, you're basically not getting any performance difference here at all. Okay, a few FPS at most. So let's just bump this back down from 35 all the way to 20 and just give it a second for it to sort of level out itself again. And there we go, we're at like 55 FPS, whereas we're pretty much at 60 at 35 watts, which is just not worth that amount of power that's being lost. So you might as well just run it at 20 watts, right? But it does seem to be coping pretty well. I mean, 60 FPS at 20 watts on the Steam Deck mode, and it does look pretty good, actually. It doesn't look half bad. I actually think it looks great, but it could be this beautiful OLED screen that's like swaying my favor, right? But just for the sake of it, let's do one last test and turn Steam Deck mode off here. Let's go FSR and go to performance. And let's go all the way down again to low. And let's just see in this area what it's like. So again, immediately takes a hit. We're at sort of like 40, 45 FPS. You can see stuff's flickering now. Look at this patch of floor that I'm stood on right now. Like, that is flickering all over the place. It looks horrendous. Steam Deck preset actually looks much better than all low. And it performs a lot better as well, like, surprisingly. So yeah, the way to play this is on SteamOS and definitely on the Steam Deck preset. because it just looks better, it performs better, there's no weird artifacts and stuff, and yeah, the performance is just better. So there we have it. Will Darwin's paradox run on handheld? Yes, but of course there's some caveats. There's no Steam Deck preset in the Windows version, which is really weird, and the Steam Deck version is pretty much essential for these devices. So if you're playing on a Windows-based handheld, you're going to suffer, unfortunately. You are going to suffer. But if you're playing on SteamOS, then obviously enable that Steam Deck preset no matter what device you're on and run it around sort of 20 watts or so, and you are going to get a decent amount of performance just there. But yeah, sadly the Xbox Ally couldn't really keep up. The performance was quite bad because the lack of that Steam Deck preset, which again, it would have really helped if we could have utilized that. And of course the lower powered APU just couldn't handle it. It's quite a demanding game, surprisingly. You know, despite the fact that it looks like it should be a little bit more simple, it's actually not. It's quite a demanding game. It is very fun. I played through the demo and it's a brilliant game. So if you really like the look of this, I highly recommend that you you know, pick it up and play it. I mean, it's pretty good pricing off the bat as well. But there we have it. I think, of course, I'm going to end up playing it on the Legion Go 2. That screen is just beautiful and it runs the best because I am running SteamOS on here. So much better performance on this device over any of the others that we've tested, of course, as expected, right? But there we have it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments whilst you're down there. Like this video, subscribe, become a member, and you get to chat to us over on our private Discord. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.